I spent nearly 20 years working the casino floors, watching people chase flashing lights and spinning reels night after night. Some came in with hope, others with desperation. The faces changed, but the stories stayed the same. Over time, you start to see patterns. You notice who lasts and who burns out fast. I used to think luck was everything. Then I learned that luck is just the surface story. The real difference comes from what people understand and what they ignore. People always ask if slot machines have secrets, if there are tricks. The truth is more complicated. There are no magic buttons or hidden sequences, but there are patterns in how people play, and those patterns decide everything. Tonight, I'm going to tell you what I've seen, what the other dealers in attendance whispered about on our breaks, the things the public never hears, because it's easier for casinos when players don't think too deeply. These are the stories and lessons I learned standing behind the machines, watching thousands of spins and seeing which habits drained wallets and which habits kept people playing smart and smiling. 7 mistakes that separate the dreamers from the disciplined. And 3 secrets that smart players use to make every visit feel like a win, even when the reels say otherwise. Let's start with the first and most common mistake I saw every single night. Mistake 1. Believing a machine is due. If I had $1 for every time someone said, "This one's ready to hit," I'd never have to work again. People used to call me over and whisper like they'd discovered a secret pattern. "Look," they'd say, "no big win in hours. It's due." I'd smile and nod because arguing didn't change much, but inside I knew that machine wasn't due for anything. Slot machines don't remember. Every spin is its own event, controlled by a random number generator. I used to watch players talk to machines like they were people. They'd pat the sides, make little bargains with them, and when they finally won, they'd swear it was because they felt the timing was right. But I'd been standing there the whole time watching other players hit jackpots after 2 spins or lose for hours on a machine that had just paid out. I once had a regular named Evelyn. She was a retired nurse, sharp as a tack. She played the same penny slot every Thursday afternoon. One day she told me, "I don't play because it's due. I play because I like the way it sounds." That stuck with me. The smart ones play for enjoyment, not because they think they can outguess the machine. Dealers talk about it like this. The players who understand randomness save themselves heartache. They don't chase patterns that don't exist. They pick games they enjoy, learn how the bonuses work, and let the rest go. That's what separates confidence from superstition. Mistake 2, chasing losses. This one hurts to remember. I've seen people lose entire paychecks because they couldn't walk away. There's this moment that happens, and if you've been on the floor long enough, you recognize it. It's when the light in someone's eyes changes from fun to frustration. That's when the casino has them. There was a man named Carl. Quiet, polite, maybe in his late 50s. He always played alone. One night I watched him lose steadily for over an hour. He looked tired, but he kept saying, "Just one more, I'm due for a hit." Then he pulled out his wallet and went back to the ATM. I remember the sound of the receipt printing and the look on his face when he came back. Determined, but already defeated. The smart players, the ones who lasted, had a rule. They always knew their stop point before they sat down. If they lost a set amount, they cashed out, took a walk, grabbed dinner. They treated gambling like entertainment, not recovery. Dealers would nod to each other when we saw one of them leave calmly. It meant they were still in control. Casinos are designed to make you forget time. No clocks, no windows, no sense of the outside world. That's why smart players use tools, timers, alarms, cash-only play. They give themselves boundaries that the casino doesn't want you to have. The ones who last the longest are the ones who know when to stop. Mistake 3, playing without a plan. The truth is, the casino isn't about games, it's about psychology. The flashing lights, the near misses, the bonus rounds, they're all built to pull you in deeper. If you walk in without a plan, the building already has one for you. And it ends with your wallet lighter. I used to watch couples come in with big smiles and vague intentions. "We'll just play a bit," they'd say. 2 hours later, they were arguing about who spent more. Smart players never let that happen. They set limits the same way you'd plan a dinner out or a movie night. They decide in advance what they're willing to spend and how long they'll play. One woman I admired, a teacher named Gloria, had a system that was genius in its simplicity. She'd divide her bankroll into envelopes. Each one was for a separate session. When one was empty, she stopped. No exceptions. She always left smiling, no matter what the reels did, because she'd already decided the rules before she sat down. The plan isn't about controlling the outcome, it's about controlling yourself. That's something every veteran dealer respects. Mistake 4, ignoring the players' club. This one is like throwing money in the trash. I can't count how many players never bothered to use their club card. They'd say things like, "I don't want the casino tracking me." And I'd think, "You already walked through 10 cameras just getting here." The truth is, if you're going to play, you might as well get something back. Smart players know that the rewards program is where the real value lives. Free meals, rooms, cashback, bonus entries. It's the casino's way of keeping you loyal, but for players who understand the game, it's also a rebate on entertainment. Some of the savviest regulars I met would time their visits around multiplier days or special events. They treated it like a business transaction, not a whim. One retired engineer named Tom had spreadsheets for his play. He tracked point multipliers, cashback rates, and tier benefits. He was organized, patient, and always smiling. He knew he couldn't beat the math of the machine, but he could optimize the math of the perks. That's how he got more value than anyone else in his player tier. Knowledge was his advantage. Mistake 5, letting free drinks make the decisions. Casinos are generous with alcohol for a reason. The freer the drinks flow, the looser the decisions get. I've seen people who came in perfectly clear-headed end the night chasing their own mistakes. A good dealer can spot it in seconds, the heavy eyes, the quicker bets, the louder laughter that's one drink past good judgment. There was a woman named Linda, charming, funny, and always with a martini in hand. When she stayed within her limit, she was everyone's favorite guest, but one night she kept going. Her bets got bigger, her laughter sharper. The next morning, she came back to the floor, pale and quiet, asking if I remembered how much she'd lost. I didn't have the heart to tell her. Smart players don't say no to the experience, they just manage it. They pace themselves, hydrate, and never make bankroll decisions under the influence. Some would switch to soda after 2 drinks, others tipped well and stuck with slow sips. It's not about avoiding fun, it's about keeping control. Because once the casino has your focus, it has everything. Mistake 6, max betting blindly. There's a certain thrill in hitting that max bet button. It feels powerful. But it's one of the most common ways people burn through money. What most players don't realize is that not every machine rewards max betting. Some jackpots only unlock that way, but others pay the same percentage no matter what. The key is understanding the game before you commit. I used to take note of who read the paytable and who didn't. The difference in outcomes was huge. The smart ones took 5 minutes to understand what they were playing. The others jumped right in and learned the hard way. One player, an older gentleman named George, had a ritual. He'd put in a small test spin on minimum bet, just to watch the symbols, listen to the sound patterns, and check the bonus triggers. Only then would he decide whether to stay or move on. It was methodical. And it worked for him. Knowledge isn't about guaranteeing a win. It's about knowing where your money's going. That's what separates skillful entertainment from blind luck. Mistake 7. Getting attached to one machine. It's strange how emotional people can get with machines. I've seen players talk to them, touch them like lucky charms, and refuse to leave their favorite one even when it's draining them dry. Casinos love that kind of loyalty. It keeps you seated. But the players who last, they keep moving. They treat the floor like a buffet, not a relationship. They sample, they adjust, and they never get hypnotized by a single screen. Dealers used to trade notes about who rotated smart. We'd say, "She's working the floor right," when someone played a variety of games instead of camping on one. One woman I remember vividly, Carol, always carried a small notebook. She'd jot down quick notes about which machines seemed most entertaining, which ones drained her fastest, and which bonuses she liked best. It wasn't superstition. It was awareness. She played for fun, not attachment. Mobility keeps your perspective fresh. When you move, you reset your mind. That's something casinos don't want you to do. Bonus Secret 1: Timing is everything. Here's something most players never think about. When you play can be just as important as how. Casinos have rhythms, quiet hours when the air feels calm, and busy ones when the energy is electric. Dealers notice the difference immediately. Early afternoons on weekdays, the air feels looser. Fewer crowds, faster service, and more chances to actually enjoy your space. Players who came during those times often got better attention, better drink service, and sometimes more access to the machines they liked best. Promotions tend to happen during off-peak hours, too. Smart players plan around that. One dealer friend from Reno used to joke, "If you can smell the fresh carpet, you're here at the right time." Meaning the early hours, when the floor's clean, the machines are open, and your mind's sharp. Bonus Secret 2: Build relationships. Casinos run on people, not just machines. The most successful regulars understood that. They treated staff with kindness and respect, not because they wanted something, but because they valued the connection. Over time, that goodwill came back to them in subtle but meaningful ways. I had a regular named Don, always polite, always asked how my shift was going. One night, a special promotion started, unannounced to the public, and I mentioned it quietly as I walked by. Nothing shady, just a friendly tip that points were doubling that evening. He thanked me, played smart, and later told me he'd use those points for a free weekend stay. That's the kind of edge kindness earns. Smart players know that casino employees see everything. They know who's respectful, who's reckless, and who's worth helping when opportunities come up. Bonus Secret 3: Think long term. The biggest difference I ever noticed wasn't in who won or lost. It was in who treated their casino visits as part of a bigger picture. The short-term thinkers chased jackpots. The long-term thinkers built experiences. They tracked their entertainment costs, stayed within their budgets, and treated comps as bonuses rather than goals. Casinos remember players who bring consistent value. Over time, those players get the best offers, the best rooms, and the best treatment. It's not about winning big once. It's about playing smart for years. A man named Harold once told me, "I don't come to win. I come to enjoy my luck when it's good and manage it when it's not." That's wisdom born from experience. That's the mindset the casino doesn't advertise, but every employee quietly respects. After 2 decades on the floor, I can tell you this. The casino isn't your enemy, but it's not your friend either. It's an environment built to entertain, and if you walk in unprepared, it will take more than it gives. But if you understand the rhythm, if you treat it like an experience instead of a hunt, you can walk out smiling no matter what the reels say. The real insiders aren't the ones who claim to have hacks or secret codes. They're the ones who understand human nature, who know how to enjoy the game without letting the game play them. So the next time you walk through those glittering doors, remember what the dealers already know. The smartest players don't chase wins. They chase value. They play with awareness, not superstition. And that's what keeps them in control. Which of these lessons surprised you the most? Think about it before your next spin, because the difference between luck and wisdom is what you do before you press that button.